If you show any of the following symptoms, learn to tap on yourself before your stuffed limiting beliefs and your unexpressed stress create real physical symptoms, problems. So here are a few of those symptoms, right? 1, anxiety. Often, especially when on the surface, there is no obvious cause for feeling anxious. Another one, being unfocused or just confused, having difficulties in making clear final decisions. Another one, catching yourself describing or thinking of people and situations mostly in a negative manner. 4th one is feeling lonely, disconnected, unloving, unloved, guilty, shameful, resentful, all those negative feelings for no particular reason. Having sharp chest pains, being dizzy, any problem relating to any digestive organ such as the stomach, the intestines, your colon, the rectum, liver, kidneys, and so on. You see, EFT falls into the area of what is today commonly known and accepted as energy medicine. It has been validated since the early 70s when the then President Nixon of America, he was in China and he got treated for a pain problem by acupuncture. And if it was good enough for him, it was good enough for the American population. He was an influencer before his time. EFT is easy to do. It's validated by many scientists and medical doctors. And scientific research is very important to helping spread the technique. Today, most people are preconditioned to believe only what has been proven and tested, or at least talked about and publicized. Of course, pharmaceutical companies make a lot of money when they sell their drugs, so it's normal that they will therefore spend millions to brainwash the population to believe that they need to be filled to the gills with their pharmaceutical chemicals of one sort or another, and very often they're helpful. Because without their pharmaceutical products, they don't stand a chance to get well. Think about it. EFT, on the other hand, is totally down to yourself. No one is going to make any money on that, except you are going to save a lot of money yourself. Plus, you will be in a much healthier process and state while you tap, before, and after. EFT is an energy medicine. EFT is homemade. It's needle-free, sort of needle-free acupuncture. It's a feel-good facilitator. It facilitates and activates the energy flow in the body. EFT, also known as tapping, releases all emotional upsets and anxieties. And we all know now and agree that stress of every kind impacts our body. Stress is much more serious than what we are, led to believe. We are told that stress is a normal part of our mechanism. Rubbish. It's like if a doctor were to tell you, oh, nothing to worry about, it's only cancer. But stress, whether conscious or unconscious, is the most important cause of all diseases, because stress strangles the cells and it leaves the cells without any positive energy, life force, or oxygen flowing through the cells. It's common knowledge that cortisol suppresses the immune system by muting the white blood cells, and at the same time it decreases bone formation. So, question, how does EFT and tapping work? Well, put simply, energy circulates throughout your body along a specific network of channels called meridians, and you must tap into this energy at any point along the system. The Chinese call it qi, the Indians call it prana, and we call it energy. Let's just call it life force. But whatever you call it, when you tap on it, it responds. That's a law, like the law of gravity, without any exceptions. This concept comes from the doctrines of traditional Chinese medicine, which referred to the body's energy as qi. In ancient times, the thousands of years ago, the Chinese discovered 100 meridian points, and they are used in acupuncture. Tapping is like acupuncture. It achieves healing through stimulating the body's meridians and energy flow. However, unlike acupuncture, tapping involves no needles. And acupuncture also takes years to master. Acupuncture practitioners must memorize hundreds of meridian points along the body, and that knowledge and training takes years to acquire. Tapping is simple and painless, and it can be learned by everyone. And you can simply apply it to yourself whenever you want, wherever you are, on an airplane, in space, in a submarine. It's free and not very time-consuming. It can be used with specific emotional intent towards your own unique life challenges and experiences. Most importantly, tapping gives you the power to heal yourself, putting control over your destiny back into your hands, into your own hands. Neuroplasticity is simply the ability of the brain's cells, which are called neurons, to change their shape and their message due to the body's environment. And neuroplasticity is when the brain rewires itself to match the energy vibrations it is being exposed to. The environment is the emotion that is strongest most of the time, actually all the time. Joy gives peace. Jealousy, disharmony. You get the idea. Depending on the message the brain takes in and passes on to the body, it can either produce or remove the pain, the physical pain in the body. The higher the emotional intensity is, the higher the stimulus to the pain is. That's a bit scientific, but if you want a very easy spiritual explanation, it's called "the universe has your back." How many times have you heard that one? I love that expression. It's so simple and it's so very true. Remember that EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, is a mind-body energy proven and validated energy medicine healing modality. The brain is a transmitting organ. It sends different messages to the body, which it receives from the mind, and the mind is out of the body. The mind is outside. And you just want to think of your mind as clouds that float around with different ideas and concepts and are magnetically attracted to your emitting energy field. When your emitting frequency tunes in with a cloud which holds the same frequency, that cloud will penetrate its content into your brain, and then your brain takes over and passes the message on to the body. So, and for those of you who are builders or construction workers, think of tapping as a jackhammer, as jackhammering into your energy system, rather than jackhammering into the road. Instead of using untenable force to make bam, one big hole, the jackhammer weakens the density, allowing a hole to be dug easier and in more harmony. And tapping is jackhammering your energy networks so that the dense and heavy buried vibrations can find the way out, can transmute, and off they go. Of course, there are always two sides to a coin. Cortisol is also good because it makes us alert. But prolonged production of cortisol favors osteoporosis as it stifles bone formation. If you think that you may have an abundance of cortisol, here are some enjoyable tips to reduce your cortisol levels. Use music therapy to calm down, because music relaxes. The vibrations of nice music relax. Crying reduces cortisol as it disposes of the stress hormone when crying. And humor and laughing reduce stress levels tremendously. They say happy people, healthy people. Sexual intercourse, when we connect, we feel good. And finally, a study was made that showed that regular tango dancing leads to significant decreases in salivary concentrations. And on the other hand, burnout, caffeine, sleep deprivation, anorexia, and others, but they increase levels of cortisol. So beware, you want to tap on that. Tapping on energy meridians releases endorphins and raises the serotonin levels in the body. It's like a feel-good hormone. When we tap, we send a signal to our body. We are simply deactivating our normal automatic fight or flight responses. For example, if when you were a child, your parents were violent with you when they drank, for example, as you grow up, most likely, every time you see someone drink heavily, your body unconsciously coils up in defense, as it recognizes the potential danger signals of being hit upon. And you might just be watching a movie or someone else, not even vaguely related to you, but your body will automatically start producing in the background stress hormones and adrenaline, thereby creating some damage. If there's a food that has an emotional significance to you, because as a child you either ate that food as a treat, or else you ate that food because there was no money to buy another food, your body will stay with that same like or dislike as you grow older. But tapping will change that for you rapidly if you wish. By tapping, you are breaking the pattern and you are deactivating the habitual related path, which sends unjustified danger signals to your body's defense system. It's just a pattern. And tapping relieves stress, which is why we say tap on everything, from headaches to fear of running for president. Not that many of us will do that. But the ripple effect of the tapping goes through your body. And tapping overrides anxiety. EFT reduces all anxiety. From medical operations to sexual performance, love life, trauma, worry, and threats, just to name but a few of the habitual emotions that most people experience, knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes they put it upon themselves, sometimes it's thrown on them. Depending on their level of mindfulness and awareness, be aware of it, tap, and you clean yourself up. Stress is so prevalent in disease that anything and everything you can do to relieve stress, you're automatically preserving your health. So even if you're not sick or anxious, well then tap to relax more. Cortisol and adrenaline, which are stress chemicals and hormones, have been proven to drop considerably when tapping, as the tapping interrupts those nervous vibrations. The research and development behind emotional freedom technique today is huge. There are so many written, proven, scientific, clinical articles out there. And it will show you how effective that method is. And I'm only showing you some different dishes right now to make for dinner, for example. One, on top of the tapping, you can massage your heart just above the breast with your right hand in a clockwise circular movement while affirming 3 times, I deeply, completely, and profoundly love myself with all my faults, problems, and limitations. And another one is, I deeply and completely and profoundly accept and love myself with all my gifts, my strengths, and my ability to love. The above will only help. You see, substantiated, proven research, which millions of people worldwide have known for quite some time now, EFT produces real lasting breakthroughs and significantly improves and even eliminates conditions that hospital treatments, medications, and years of therapy often fail to adequately deal with. Now, although these studies are focused on acupuncture and as such used needles, follow-up double-blind research, it revealed that stimulating the points through pressure, as we do in tapping, right, from our fingertips, gave rise to a similar response. And another really exciting set of research was undertaken by Dr. Dawson Church. His team performed a randomized controlled trial to study how a 1 hour-long tapping session would impact the stress levels of 83 subjects. And to do this, Dr. Church and his team measured their level of cortisol, which is a hormone secreted by the body when it undergoes stress. So what were their findings? The average level of cortisol reduction was 24%, with a whopping reduction of almost 50% in quite a few subjects, beyond the average. In comparison, there was almost no significant cortisol reduction in those who went an hour of traditional talk therapy, going to a psychiatrist, or to the priest, or speaking to your friend. The maximum amount of cortisol reduction was only 7%. Not 100% sure, but it's around that level. Dr. Church also created the Stress Project, which teaches tapping to war veterans who were suffering from PTSD. And the results have been astounding. An average 63% decreased their PTSD symptoms after only 6 rounds of tapping. It's mind-blowing, exciting research. And it's converted so many non-believers in the scientific community along the way. I mean, that's why there are millions of people today who effectively tap with amazing results. All signs indicate that this trend of revealing research has swayed skeptics and will continue as millions of people around the globe, continue to discover the power of tapping. It's DIY, do it yourself. Experts are saying because of the overwhelming scientific evidence, as well as personal experience with the technique, more and more medical doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, personal development experts, and others have come out in support of EFT. And they've done so in recent years, maybe the last 10 years. Everyone is in the same boat. If you are a human, there is a big similarity in everyone. Humans are more alike to each other than different. And the human has evolved over the last 400,000 or 500,000 years. And as mankind evolved, it found itself having to focus more on the negative side of life than on the positive. It was a question of choosing between two choices in a dangerous situation, which 99% of the time related to staying alive. The book Hardwiring Happiness, written by Rick Hansen, gives a very simple explanation of that. Either you could decide that there was a tiger in the forest, and if you were wrong, tough luck, you had dinner. Or you could decide that there was a tiger, but in actual fact, there was no tiger. And in this case, what happened? Well, you had caused yourself to endure unnecessary stress. But both choices were focused on the negative. And that is where EFT tapping delivers its magic. I will see you in the next video. Bye.